day one, he understood what it was to be a pro. And just to say that at 20 years old and come in from college and as a rookie, had that type of mindset, and that's what we were missing in those dead years that we had from like 96 to 2005, whatever. We just didn't have those type of players, and he was that guy that he definitely wanted to build around.
With his less than ceremonious entrance into the NFL behind him, Jason wasted little time making an impact. Playing in 15 games his rookie year, Witten recorded 35 receptions for 347 yards. His toughness was tested early after suffering a broken jaw in a Week 5 game with the Arizona Cardinals.
You saw his work ethic through camp. Now he's against the Cardinals, breaks his jaw. Isn't that a shame? There goes his rookie season. Well, when he misses one game, that's when you stand back and say, we better figure out what this guy is made of, because this is not a regular, ordinary guy. And there's two kinds of players that will sustain an injury like that and only miss one game. One kind is a guy who doesn't have enough sense to come in out of the rain. The other is the kind who's made of the stuff that he's made of.
On November the 4th, 2007, Witten's Iron Man persona would reach legendary status.
And then he's over the middle, caught by Witten, who loses his helmet but still keeps going. A penalty marker is down, and Witten takes it to the 5-yard line. Jason Witten.
And then to get hit and lose your hat and keep running without your hat.
Ooh.
And he took, that is a real blow that he took to his helmet. When you can do that, then you're a tough football player.
When you lose your helmet in Philadelphia and you're running down the field with all the Eagles chasing you, and maybe there's a little blood coming out of you, the determination on his face was, you're not stopping me. That is something you can't coach it, you can't manufacture it. You're either lucky enough to get it and be around it for a while, or you're not. If you want to pick one play that anyone can see that you look at and say, oh, that's who he is, it would be that play.
It didn't matter that he's not wearing a helmet. All that matters is trying to score a touchdown. I didn't hear a whistle, so I'm going to keep going. And I think that, with the world watching, if that would have been a noon game, somewhere up in Detroit, it still would have gotten a lot of attention. But the fact that everyone in the world was watching live and he made that play, I think, that probably took his status over the top a little bit.
Jason's toughness, blended with his blue-collar work ethic, proved to be a potent combination. After over a decade in the league, Witten's name can be found at the top of most every category in the record book.
When we talk about Witten, there's all kinds of accomplishments. It just goes on and on and on. He's the all-time Cowboys leader in receptions. He's one of 4 Cowboys with 10 Pro Bowls. NFL record for most catches in a season by a tight end, and second in NFL history in receptions for a tight end. He's just one of those guys that just keeps stacking up great seasons after great seasons and all kinds of accomplishments, and yet he's still hungry for more. He's not stopping. He seems like he's ready to go to the next chapter, go to the next record, and really for him it's all about winning a Super Bowl. But as this journey continues for Witten, the records continue to fall.
They've been drafting 2 or 3 tight ends for years around here, and they don't get on the field very much. And everywhere else they probably would have some good players, but when you're behind Jason Witten, it's just you don't really have much of a chance to play.
Despite all the records, awards, and unprecedented personal success, Witten remains wanting. It is a single, unfulfilled mission that consumes his thoughts and haunts his memories.
I can think of 3 nights in football, and that's after the Giants lost in 2011, week 17. The Redskins lost in 2012, week 17, and of course last year week 17, and all a chance to win the division. And frustration is at such a high level, you can't even put in words. And I think selfishly you look at it and say, here's where we're at in our career, and we have to get over the hump. And each year you think this is the year, and you come up short.
The goal wasn't just to make the playoffs and get over the 8-8 hump. It was to compete for a championship. You get to this point, if there's anything else other than that motivates you, you're cheating yourself.
Nobody cares about last year, and so the frustration that I feel when I came to training camp, I had to put that aside and say that that's over with. I've learned from it, and I believe our football team's better. I know I'm better because of those experiences, and I just believe it'll make the journey so much sweeter, knowing that if we come out on the other side. And, we've been criticized, and these leaders on this team have been told we're not good enough and we can't do it. And, but we don't shy away from that. And I think we just trust Coach Garrett, and we kind of link arm in arm with him and say, let's go work our tails off and see what happens.
Jason Witten's life journey has been rugged and steep, a path that has taken him through the nightmare of abuse, a road littered with heartache and disappointment. But along the way, he found hope, and in return, has given it to those who need it most.
He and Michelle told me they were going to start a foundation, but they didn't know. They said, we don't know right now, exactly what it's going to be. And so before it was launched, the day before it was launched, he called and he said, Mom, I just want you to know it's going to be launched tomorrow. And I wanted you to be the first to know that it's going to be to help children and women who suffer from domestic violence. And because of you, we're able to do this. I'll see the pictures where he goes and visits the shelters and gives the kids toys, and I see those children's faces, and there's no words to describe. I mean, there's just no words to describe. And for me, that makes it feel like it was all worth it.
In football, like in life, the outcome is often unknown until the final whistle has sounded. And the game's hardest fought will always produce the sweetest victories.
I wouldn't change that line for anything in this world. Sure, there was a lot of hurt and sleepless nights, but I'm a better man and a better person because of it. And without question, I wouldn't be here today if those things didn't happen in my life.
He is a complete package, as a man. He is a complete package as a player. And it was a thrill to get a chance to coach him, and it's been a thrill to see him grow and out of the ashes, if you will, to what he is today.
I really believe his legacy will be everything about him, the total package of Jason Witten. His impact on our football team, his family, our community, I think is rare. So you put those things together, he's the total package. He's one of the best players and best people I've ever been around.
I knew that one day he would make a difference. I didn't know how, but I knew he would. And he has.
Can I tell the Wham story about Witten? One of my favorite stories about Witten was we wanted to run a wham play with the tight end. We just felt from a scheme standpoint that we got into a two-back set and had our tight end kind of motion down and block a big nose tackle that Tampa Bay had, 330, 340-pound guy. We felt like that was going to be a good play for us and send the right kind of message. And as we were thinking about game planning and putting this in, one of the things that went through my mind is we really don't want to have Witten do this. I mean, he does all these different things for us. He runs routes, he blocks at the point of attack, he protects, he leads up on running plays. But I said, I don't know if I can live with myself if we have this guy who catches 80 or 90 balls a year for us come off the field because he separated his shoulder or broke his collarbone or something because he's blocking a 350-pound nose tackle. That wouldn't be good coaching. So as we put this play in, we had one of our other tight ends. He was going to do this. And we felt like it was important to have a true fullback and a true tailback in there, so we couldn't do it with two tight ends. So we had to take Witten out of the game and have this other tight end do it for us. And I'll never forget his reaction. He came up to me and said, what do you think, I can't wham the nose? I said, well, of course you can wham the nose. I mean, obviously you can do that, but we're trying to keep you out of harm's way a little bit. I mean, he's a big guy, and, you're going to catch a lot of balls. You're going to play a ton of plays in this game. We don't want to lose you. What do you don't think I'm physical enough? You don't think I can do this? And, it went on and on and on. On this particular day, he didn't talk to me for about 3 days. And finally we relented and said, okay, keep Witten in there. Let him wham the nose. But it was a great illustration for me that, there's nothing in the game that he doesn't want to do. There's nothing in the game he doesn't want to embrace. And that's dirty work. That's really rolling up your sleeves as a tight end and doing some of the hardest things, the most physical things. And, he was genuinely mad at me for taking that opportunity away from him to the point where we gave it to him, and he did a hell of a job with it. We did. He did a great job, and he didn't come off the field like this. So, at the end of the day, that was my objective. Let's get to the next play, and we were able to pull it off.